You approach the relay station in silence. Your ship, the Diplomat's star chart, glides through the void. It is a vessel of peace. Its mission is discovery. Yet this sector is unnervingly quiet. No ship traffic, no comms chatter, just the cold dust of forgotten space. The station itself is a skeleton. Its metal bones jut out against the black. It has been dead for a very long time. Something is wrong here. Your sensors confirm the silence. The station is powerless, lifeless, a tomb floating in the endless night. But one thing remains, a single, faint signal. It pulses from the station's heart. A weak crimson light blinks on the main antenna. It is a lonely star in a sea of dead technology. It should not be possible. Yet there it is, a ghost in the machine. You guide your ship closer. The docking clamps engage with a low groan. The sound is loud in the oppressive silence. You suit up for the EVA. The air in your helmet tastes sterile. Recycled, you check your gear one last time. Every mission has risks. But this one feels different. It feels like stepping into a story that has already ended, badly. The station's airlock hisses open. Dust and ice crystals swirl around your boots. The inside is a wreck. Wires hang like dead vines. Panels are shattered. The damage is old, ancient. You move through the corridors with care. Your light cuts through the darkness. It reveals scenes of long-ago panic. Overturned consoles, scattered data chips, a place abandoned in a hurry. You follow the source of the signal. It leads you deeper into the station's core. The crimson light grows stronger. It paints the frozen walls in shades of blood. The pulse is a steady rhythm, a heartbeat in a corpse. You find the broadcast room. A single console is active. It is covered in a thick layer of space frost, yet it functions. It draws power from a source you cannot identify. On the screen is a message. It is not in any known language. The characters are elegant. They flow like captured starlight. The message repeats, a loop that is played for ages, for millennia. You activate your universal translator. The device whirs. It struggles to find a match. This language is older than any in your database, older than human civilization itself. The translator finally locks on. The words appear on your helmet's display. They are stark, they are simple, and they are terrifying. The message is not a greeting. It is not a beacon of discovery. It is a warning, a gravestone for an entire civilization. It speaks of a great darkness, a consuming hunger, a terror that swept this galaxy clean. The words burn into your mind. Listen, you who have found this place. We are the Cygnian Compact, or what is left of us. We built this relay. We built 1,000 relays like it. They were monuments to our peace, to our prosperity. Now they are our final testament, our last desperate cry into the void. The voice in the translation is calm, resigned. It is the sound of a people who have already accepted their doom. You feel a chill that has nothing to do with the station's temperature. This is not some historical record. It is a direct address, a message in a bottle, thrown into a cosmic ocean. And you have just found it. The message continues. It speaks of a foe that could not be reasoned with, an enemy that could not be fought, an enemy that only consumed. They called them the Void Eaters, a name born of fear and awe. The message describes them in horrifying detail. They are not biological. They are not sentient in any way you would understand. They are machines, a swarm of self-replicating nightmares. Their purpose is singular: to deconstruct entire worlds, to turn planets into raw materials, to feed their own endless growth. The Cygnians first encountered them at the edge of their space. A single scout, It was beautiful in its terrible efficiency. It landed on an uninhabited moon. It began to break the moon down. It built copies of itself. 1 became 2. 2 became 4. 4 became 16. Within a week, the moon was gone. In its place was a small cloud of new machines, ready to find their next meal. The Cygnian Compact sent a fleet. They were a peaceful people, but they were not defenseless. Their ships were powerful. Their weapons were precise. They engaged the small swarm. The battle was short. The swarm was obliterated. The Cygnians celebrated their victory. They believed the threat was over. It was a fatal miscalculation, a moment of hubris that cost them everything. Because the swarm learned, the fragments of the destroyed machines sent data back into the void. They reported on Cygnian tactics, on their weapon frequencies, on their shield modulation. The greater swarm processed this information. It adapted. When the next wave arrived, it was immune. The Cygnian fleet was annihilated. Their weapons were useless. Their shields might as well have been paper. The message describes the horror. The swarm descending on their worlds. Not with malice, not with anger, but with cold, unfeeling purpose. It was like a geological event, a force of nature. Cities were unmade. Oceans were boiled away. The very crust of their planets was stripped bare. The Cygnians fought back with everything they had. They threw entire fleets at the enemy. They even turned their most powerful weapons on their own colonies, trying to starve the swarm. It was no use. The Void Eaters could not be stopped. They consumed everything. They turned the genius of the Cygnian civilization into more of themselves. Star systems fell silent one by one. The light of 1,000 worlds went out. The last of their people fled. They scattered to the empty spaces between galaxies, hoping the swarm would not follow. This relay station was their final act, a warning to whoever came next. The message contains a chilling star map. It shows the path of the swarm, a wave of devastation that swept across this spiral arm of the galaxy. It stopped just a few sectors away from where humanity would one day evolve. And then, the swarm fell silent. For some unknown reason, it went dormant. The great machine wave ceased its advance. It settled on the worlds it had consumed, and it slept. That was 50,000 years ago, a mere blink in the eye of star science. For all that time, the galaxy has known a fragile peace. Younger races rose. The humans, the Cathar, the Salians. They built their own small empires. They explored their corners of space. They never knew the shadow they were living in. They were children playing in a graveyard, unaware of the sleeping dragon beneath their feet. The message grows more urgent. The ancient words pulse with renewed fear. The Cygnians had placed watchers in the dark. Deep-range probes, designed to last for eternity. For 50,000 years, they reported nothing. The swarm was quiet. Its energy signature was flat. But recently, something changed. The probes detected a flicker of power, a whisper of activity from the dead worlds. The Void Eaters are stirring. The long slumber is ending. The message does not know why. It offers no explanation for the awakening. It only presents the terrifying fact. The hunger is returning. The great machine is slowly coming back to life. The crimson signal on this dead relay is not just a warning about the past. It is a prophecy of the future, a future that is rushing toward you. You stand in the frozen broadcast room. The weight of this knowledge is crushing. You are no longer a simple diplomat. You are a messenger, a bearer of unthinkable news. You have stumbled upon the galaxy's darkest secret. And now, you have a choice to make. You can erase the data, flee back to your own space, Pretend you never found this place. Let the galaxy sleep for a little while longer, or you can accept the burden. You can carry this warning back to Earth. You can try to make them understand. The choice is not really a choice at all. You save the data log. You copy the entire message. The star maps, the descriptions of the swarm, the final, desperate plea of the Signians. You turn to leave the station. The crimson light continues its steady pulse behind you, a lonely metronome counting down to doom. Your return journey to the Sol system is a blur. The Diplomat's star chart feels small now, fragile, a tiny bubble of safety in an ocean of impending chaos. You transmit the data ahead of you. You send it directly to the High Council on Earth. You flag it with the highest possible priority. This is not a matter for debate. It is a matter of survival, or so you believe. You arrive at Earth's orbital command. You are escorted down to the surface. The planet looks so peaceful from above. Blue and white and green, a jewel of life. It is hard to believe that such a world could be unmade, turned to dust and scrap. But you have seen the Signian records. You know it can happen. You know it will happen, unless something is done. You stand before the Earth High Council. The chamber is grand, imposing, a symbol of humanity's power and prestige. The council members are old. Their faces are etched with political battles. They look at you with tired, skeptical eyes. They have seen 1,000 crises come and go. They believe they have seen everything. They are wrong. You present your findings. You play the Signian message. You show them the star maps of the swarm's path. You describe the world-eating machines. You relay the warning about their awakening. You speak with all the passion and conviction you can muster. You try to make them feel the cold dread that you felt. In that lonely relay station, miles and miles away. They listen in silence. Their faces are unreadable masks. When you are finished, the chamber is quiet. Too quiet. The council president, a man named Kalen, finally speaks. His voice is smooth, polished. The voice of a politician who has dismissed 1,000 inconvenient truths. "Ambassador," he says, "your discovery is fascinating. A remarkable piece of star science." He pauses for effect. "However, we must be rational. We are talking about a legend, a 50,000-year-old ghost story, from a species no one has ever met." Another council member chimes in. "The evidence is thin, Ambassador. A single damaged relay station, a cryptic message. It could be a hoax, a very elaborate one." They do not want to believe it. Their minds are closed. You try to argue. You point to the energy readings from the Signian probes, the flickers of power from the dormant swarm. "Those readings are ambiguous," Kalen says. "They could be natural phenomena. Star flares, magnetar pulses. There are a dozen explanations that are more likely than an ancient machine apocalypse. It is a classic bit of political misdirection. It would be funny if it were not so serious. They are afraid, not of the swarm, but of the panic, the chaos, the economic disruption that a galaxy-wide alert would cause. An alert based on what they see as flimsy evidence. "Think of the cost, Ambassador," another counselor says. "Mobilizing the fleet, fortifying our colonies, it would bankrupt the Federation. All for a myth. They are protecting their own power, their own comfortable reality." You realize with a sinking heart that they will do nothing. They will classify your report, bury it under layers of bureaucracy. They will thank you for your service and send you on your way. They will choose to remain asleep, to keep the galaxy asleep. because the alternative is too terrifying to contemplate. And too expensive. A joke that bad is almost a crime against comedy. The President makes the final ruling. The Council finds the threat assessment to be unsubstantiated. We will increase monitoring of the so-called dormant sectors. But we will take no overt action at this time. The matter is closed. He bangs a small ceremonial gavel. The sound echoes in the grand chamber. It sounds like a nail being hammered into a coffin. The coffin of the human race. You are dismissed. You walk out of the council chamber in a daze. The weight of your failure is heavy. You brought the fire alarm to the leaders of your world, and they have decided it is probably just a faulty sensor. You have never felt so alone. You have the galaxy's most important secret, and no one in power will listen. Your mission of diplomacy has failed in the most spectacular way possible. You cannot give up. If Earth will not listen, then you must find someone who will. Humanity is not the only power in this sector of the galaxy. There are the younger star nations, the proud Cathar warrior clans, the enigmatic Salayan technocracy. They are newer to the galactic stage. They are more aggressive, more dynamic, and perhaps more willing to believe in a real threat. This is a dangerous path. The treaties between humanity and the younger races are fragile. They are built on a careful balance of power. Going to them with this story could be seen as an act of sedition, an attempt to destabilize the region. The High Council would disavow you. You would be branded a traitor. You would be on your own, utterly and completely. But what choice do you have? To do nothing is to condemn everyone. You return to your ship. The Diplomat star chart is your only home now, your only ally. You access your private files, your contacts. Your years as a diplomat have given you connections, friends and rivals in the strange and complex courts of the alien powers. It is time to call in some favors. Your first destination is Cathar Prime, the homeworld of the warrior clans. The Cathar are a formidable species, tall, furred predators. They value strength and honor above all else. They see humanity as soft, as decadent traitors. They respect only power. Convincing them will be difficult. You will have to appeal to their sense of a glorious battle, a worthy foe. You land your ship in their capital city, a sprawling metropolis of black iron and volcanic glass. You are granted an audience with the Great Claw, the leader of the unified clans. He is a giant of his species. His claws are as long as your forearm. His eyes are yellow and predatory. He listens to your story without interruption. His gaze never leaves your face. When you are done, he is silent for a long time. Then he lets out a low growl. It is not a sound of anger. It is a sound of interest. A swarm of world eaters, he says. His voice is like rocks grinding together. You say they defeated an ancient empire? An empire more powerful than your own federation? You nod. Yes, Great Claw. That is the truth. He bares his teeth in what you have learned is a Cathar smile. It is a terrifying sight. This is a fine tale, human. A foe worthy of the sagas. A challenge to test the claws of my people. He is not afraid. He is excited. The prospect of a real war, a war for survival, is something his culture has craved for centuries. He sees the Void Eaters not as an apocalypse, but as the ultimate hunt. It's a bit like asking a cat to fear a mouse infestation. They see it as a buffet. The Great Claw agrees to help. He will send his own scouts into the dormant sectors. He will verify your claims. But he makes one thing clear. If this is true, human, the Cathar will fight. But we will fight under our own banner. for our own glory. We will not be soldiers in your human fleet. It is a start, a dangerous, unpredictable start. But it is more than you got from your own people. Next, you travel to the Selayan technocracy. The Selayans are the opposite of the Cathar. They are small, slender beings of immense intellect. They live their lives partially in a digital space they call the flow. They see the galaxy in terms of data, of systems, of elegant equations. They are logical to a fault. They will not be swayed by tales of glory. They will need proof, cold, hard data. You present the Cygnian message to their governing intelligence, the Prime Nexus. It is not a single being, but a collective consciousness of their greatest minds. Your audience takes place in a virtual space, a room made of pure light and information. The data from the Cygnian relay flows around you. The Prime Nexus analyzes it with breathtaking speed. It sees patterns you could never hope to see. Its response is not emotional. It is a stream of pure information. The data is compelling. The energy signatures are anomalous. The probability of a dormant, technologically advanced threat is non-trivial. Further analysis is required. The Selayans are cautious, but they are not dismissive. They see the logic in the warning. They understand the mathematics of an exponential threat. They agree to commit their own resources, their deep space observatories, their analytical engines. They will turn their vast intellect to the problem of the Void Eaters. They will search for a weakness, a flaw in the swarm's programming, a way to defeat them with logic, not just brute force. They are another powerful, if detached, ally. Your desperate gambit is starting to pay off. But as you work to build this fragile coalition, you keep returning to the Cygnian message. There is more to it than just the warning. You feel it, the way the message is structured, the elegance of the dead language. It is too perfect, too deliberate. The Cygnians were a race of master engineers. They would not leave a simple message. They would embed it with tools. You dedicate your ship's computer to a single task, to analyze the message itself, not the words, but the structure of the data, the syntax of the language, the pauses and rhythms of the recorded voice. You are looking for a key, a hidden layer of information. You spend weeks on this, while your new allies gather their own intelligence. You follow a hunch, a diplomat's intuition, and then you find it. It is not a code. It is not a cipher. It is a map, a three-dimensional star chart hidden in the very fabric of the Cygnian language. The pitch and frequency of the ancient words corresponded to stellar coordinates. The grammar and sentence structure defined vectors and trajectories. It is a work of genius, a message hidden in plain sight. The map does not point to the dormant swarm. It does not point to the Cygnians' lost homeworld. It points to a single, uncharted star system in a dense, turbulent nebula at the galaxy's edge. A place no one would ever think to look. The coordinates are precise. The destination is clear. The map is a beacon of hope. It must lead to something important. Something the Cygnians wanted to preserve. Something that could help you fight the coming storm. The Diplomat star chart changes course. You send the map data to your new allies, the Cathar and the Selayans. You tell them what you have found. You are no longer just a messenger of doom. You are a bearer of a new possibility, a forgotten path. You race toward the nebula, toward the secret that the Cygnians left behind. You do not know what you will find there. But it is better than waiting for the end. It is a chance. And in a galaxy on the brink of extinction, a chance is everything. The Serpent's Nebula is a swirling chaos of gas and dust. It blinds your sensors. It plays havoc with navigation. Flying through it is like sailing a wooden ship through a hurricane. But the Cygnian map is a perfect guide. It leads you through the cosmic storm with uncanny precision. The Cathar and the Selayan scout ships follow in your wake. A small, strange fleet united by a 50,000-year-old secret. At the heart of the nebula, you find the star. And around the star, you find the forge. It is a sight that defies belief. A ring world, an artificial structure of impossible scale. It encircles the entire star. Its surface is a vast, silent complex of shipyards, docks, and construction bays. This is the last arsenal of the Cygnian Compact, the place where they built their greatest fleets. It is a monument to a forgotten age of power. The ring world is dark, dormant, just like the relay station where this journey began. But it is not damaged. It is pristine, perfectly preserved by the nebula's embrace. As your ships approach, lights begin to flicker across the surface. Automated systems, awakening from a long sleep. The forge is responding to your presence. It is recognizing the Cygnian data you carry. It is welcoming you. You dock your ship at one of the immense spires. The scale is humbling. Your vessel is a tiny insect on a giant's hand. The air in the docking bay is breathable. Ancient life support systems humming back to life. You are the first living being to walk these halls in 50,000 years. The silence is profound. It is the silence of a gallery, of a museum. And the exhibits are warships. Tens of thousands of them. They are docked in the silent shipyards, sleek, powerful vessels of a design you have never seen. They are larger than any ship in the human or Cathar fleets. Their hulls are made of a crystalline alloy that seems to drink the light. These are the ships that fought the Void Eaters at the dawn of their invasion, the ghost fleet of a dead civilization. The Selayan data streams confirm your hopes. The ships are fully armed. Their power cores are stable. They are ready to fly. But there is a problem, a critical flaw in this beautiful, desperate plan. The ships are not automated. They require crews. They require pilots. They require commanders. And their control systems are keyed to Cygnian biology, to their unique neurological patterns. A human or a Cathar cannot simply sit in the command chair and fly one. It seems like a cruel joke. The galaxy's greatest arsenal is laid out before you. A fleet that could turn the tide, and you cannot use it. The Selayans analyze the problem. Their logic is relentless. The command interface requires a direct neural link, the Prime Nexus reports. It is deeply integrated with the user's consciousness. Attempting to bypass it would take decades. We do not have decades. But there is one more secret hidden in the Cygnian data. A last resort. The Cynians understood that they might not survive. They knew that whoever found their arsenal might not be able to use it. So they created a failsafe, a way to bridge the gap between their minds and the minds of another species. They called it the Mnemonic Archive. A ghost in the machine. The Mnemonic Archive is a repository of Cygnian consciousness, the recorded minds of their greatest captains, their most brilliant admirals. It is not true artificial intelligence. It is an echo, a personality matrix. It can guide, it can advise, but it cannot command the ships alone. It needs a living mind to act as a host, to form a symbiotic link, to merge a modern consciousness with an ancient one. The procedure is dangerous. The Selayans are blunt about the risks. The psychic load will be immense, the Prime Nexus warns. Your personality may be submerged, lost. You would become a passenger in your own body. there is a high probability of permanent psychological damage or death. It is a choice that no one should have to make. But you are the one who found this place. You are the diplomat, the bridge builder. You know what you have to do. You are the only one who can do it. You are human, adaptable, resilient. Your mind is a messy, chaotic thing compared to a Scion or a Cathar. But that might be your strength. Your ability to hold contradictory ideas, to feel and to reason at the same time. You volunteer to be the first to interface with the Ghost Fleet's command. You enter the command center of the ring world, the heart of the last arsenal. In the center of the room is a single chair, a throne of crystalline alloy. It is surrounded by the silent, sleeping systems of the forge. This is the interface point for the mnemonic archive. You take a deep breath. You sit in the chair. The world around you fades away, and the whispers of the past begin. A voice echoes in your mind. It is not a sound. It is a thought that is not your own. Who are you? It asks. The voice is ancient, wise, and very, very tired. I am the last admiral of the Cygnian fleet. I am the guardian of this place. You answer with your own thoughts. You tell it your name, your species. You tell it of the coming darkness, of the returning swarm. The admiral's mind merges with yours. It is a flood of information, of memories. You see battles that scorch the stars. You see worlds burn. You feel the grief of a billion souls. The weight of it is almost unbearable. You feel the admiral's despair, his final, desperate hope that someone would come. Someone would answer their call. You push back with your own hope, your own determination. You show him humanity. The Cathar, the Scions. You show him that the galaxy is not empty, that there are those willing to fight. A new feeling enters the link. Surprise. And then, a flicker of something that feels like respect. You are chaotic, the Admiral's thought voice says. But you are strong. Perhaps you are strong enough. The link solidifies. The whispers become a single clear voice in your head. The voice of your co-pilot, your ancient advisor. The systems of the ring world surge to life. Lights flash, consoles activate. Across the vast shipyards, the Ghost Fleet awakens. Their engines hum with power. Their weapon ports slide open. The last arsenal is no longer silent. It is alive. And it is yours to command. Your new fleet is a breathtaking sight. Thousands of Cygnian warships, moving in perfect formation, guided by your thoughts. And the wisdom of a long-dead admiral. The Cathar and Scion ships are dwarfed by their new allies. For the first time since you found that crimson signal, you feel a genuine sense of hope. You have a weapon. You have a chance. But the enemy is not idle. The swarm's awakening is accelerating. Your actions have not gone unnoticed. The surge of power from the Star Forge has acted like a dinner bell. It has drawn the attention of the nearest Void Eaters. A scout wing, a tiny fraction of the whole, but still a formidable force. They are coming for you. They are coming to consume the forge, to add its power to their own. The Admiral's voice is calm in your mind. They are fast, faster than our records indicated. The swarm has not been idle during its long sleep. It has improved. The scout wing is 100 ships strong, each one a deadly, efficient killer. They move with a single, unified purpose. There is no communication between them, only the cold logic of the swarm. This will be your first test, the first trial by fire for your Ghost Fleet. And for you. You are no longer a diplomat. You have become a commander, a warrior. You issue your first orders. Your thoughts become commands. The Cygnian fleet moves to intercept the enemy. The Cathar warriors let out a battle cry that shakes the comms channels. The Salians coolly analyze the enemy's approach vectors. The unlikeliest alliance in galactic history is about to face its first battle. The two fleets meet at the edge of the nebula. The blackness of space is lit by engine flares and weapon fire. The swarm ships are sleek, black, almost invisible against the void. They fire bolts of antimatter that erase whatever they touch. Your Cygnian ships answer with lances of pure energy. Weapons that were designed for this very purpose, to kill the unkillable machines. The battle is a whirlwind of chaos and light. You are at the center of it all. Your mind is stretched to its limit. You are processing tactical data from 1,000 ships at once. The Admiral's voice is a steady presence, guiding you. Their formation is a standard hunter-killer pattern. They will try to isolate and destroy our command ship. Do not let them. You focus your will. The fleet responds instantly. A squadron of Cygnian destroyers moves to screen your flagship. They absorb the first volley from the swarm. 3 of them vaporize in an instant. The cost of war is no longer an abstract concept. You feel the loss, the death of the automated systems that piloted those ships. It is a strange, disconnected grief. The Cathar are in their element. Their smaller, faster ships dive into the enemy formation. They are like wolves harrying a great beast. They inflict damage. They draw fire. They fight with a joyous fury that is both inspiring and terrifying. They are buying you time. Time to find a weakness, a pattern in the swarm's attack. The Salians provide the key. Their analytical engines have been running constantly. Commander, the Prime Nexus communicates. The enemy ships share a networked targeting system. If you can destroy the lead vessel, you may temporarily disrupt their coordination. It is a small window of opportunity, a chance to break their perfect unity. The lead swarm ship is larger than the others. It hangs back from the main battle, directing the attack. You and the Admiral focus your intent. You see the target through the eyes of 1,000 gunners. You feel the power building in the main cannon of your flagship. The weapon has not fired in 50,000 years. You give the order. Fire. A beam of brilliant white energy crosses the void. It strikes the lead swarm ship dead center. For a moment, nothing happens. Then, the black hull splinters. It cracks apart. The ship implodes in a silent, violent flash. And just as the Salians predicted, the rest of the scout wing falters. Their movements become erratic, uncoordinated. Their perfect unity is broken. This is the moment. All ships, you command, your voice and thought as one. Press the attack. Do not give them time to recover. The Ghost Fleet surges forward. The Cathar warriors scream their triumph. The battle turns from a desperate defense into a relentless pursuit. One by one, the remaining swarm ships are hunted down and destroyed. The battle is over. You have won. The aftermath is sobering. The nebula is filled with the wreckage of both fleets. You lost dozens of Cygnian ships. The Cathar lost almost 1/3 of their fighters. The victory was not clean. It was not easy. It was costly. You have proven that the swarm can be beaten. But the price of that victory is high. Too high to pay again and again. And the most chilling realization comes from the Salian report. Commander, we have analyzed the wreckage of the enemy ships. Their design is modular, adaptive. The data from this battle is already being transmitted back to the main swarm. The next wave will not be vulnerable to the same tactics. They will have adapted. The enemy learns. It evolves. You can only win the same fight once. You have won the first battle. But you have also taught your enemy how to defeat you. The triumph feels hollow. The scout wing was just a probe, an insignificant fraction of the whole. The main swarm is still out there, still waking up, and it is now aware of you, of your ghost fleet, of the last arsenal. It will come for you, and it will come prepared. The real war has just begun. A new kind of despair threatens to take hold. How can you fight an enemy that learns from every victory? An enemy that outnumbers you 1,000,000 to 1? Brute force will not be enough. The ghost fleet is powerful, but it is finite. The swarm is endless. A war of attrition is a war you are guaranteed to lose. You need a new strategy, something the swarm cannot predict, something it cannot adapt to. You retreat into the shared space of your mind. You and the Admiral review the battle. You analyze every move, every loss. His ancient wisdom and your modern, chaotic mind search for an answer. The Admiral is grim. We face them with honor, his thoughts convey. We met their strength with our own. This is how we lost the first war. He is right. A direct confrontation is suicide. You need to think like a diplomat again, not a warrior. A diplomat finds leverage. A diplomat turns an enemy's strength into a weakness. What is the swarm's greatest strength? Its hunger, its single-minded drive to consume, to deconstruct. It is a simple, powerful imperative. It has no guile, no subtlety. It only knows how to move forward, to devour. An idea begins to form in your mind. It is a wild, desperate thought. It feels like madness. But the more you consider it, the more sense it makes. Admiral, you think? What if we don't fight the swarm? What if we feed it? The Admiral's consciousness recoils in surprise. Explain this. Strategy. The swarm is drawn to energy, you explain. To matter. To resources. The Star Forge was a massive lure. That's why the scout wing came here. Its hunger is its primary motivation. It is predictable. We can use that. We can lead it. We can choose the battlefield. Not just any battlefield. We can lead it into a trap it cannot help but spring. This is starting to sound like a plan, even a good one. You pull up the star maps, the ones provided by the Salians. You search for the perfect location. You need a place with a massive energy signature, a lure so tempting the swarm cannot ignore it. And you need a kill mechanism, something on a scale large enough to destroy the entire swarm at once. You find your target in the Serpent's Nebula, the very nebula that hid the Star Forge, the central star, the one the ring world orbits. It is a hypergiant, old, unstable. It is nearing the end of its life. The Salian projections are clear. The star is a cosmic time bomb. It could go supernova at any time, in 1,000 years or in a week, and its death would be an event of unimaginable power, an explosion that would sterilize the entire nebula. The Salian data also shows a way to accelerate the process, a precise application of energy, a targeted strike at the star's unstable core. It would be like poking a hole in a dam that is already about to burst. The star's own fury would do the rest. The plan is simple, and it is monstrous. You will use a star as a weapon. You will lure the entire Void Eater swarm into the nebula, and then you will trigger a supernova. You present the plan to your allies. The Cathar are silent for once. The scale of the idea is beyond even their sagas of glorious battle. The Great Claw is the first to speak. You wish to kill a star? He asks. There is a note of awe in his voice. To burn the world eaters in a god's own fire? This is a death worthy of such a foe. The Cathar will be your bait. The Salians are more analytical. The plan is logical, the prime nexus states. The probability of success is high, assuming you can lure the entire swarm into the kill zone before the star detonates. The timing will be critical. The risks are extreme. But the alternative is certain annihilation. We will calculate the precise yield required to trigger the nova. This is the galaxy's last best hope for a reason, because it's just so crazy it might work. And so the final, desperate stratagem is set. Your fleet, the ghost ships of the Signians, the warrior clans of the Cathar, and the science vessels of the Salians, will become the bait. You will leave the safety of the Star Forge. You will fly out into the open. You will broadcast your energy signature. You will shout your existence into the void. And you will pray that the great beast takes the bait. The Diplomat star chart, your small, forgotten ship, is given a new, vital role. It is fast. It is nimble. It will carry the weapon, a specially designed torpedo, a Salian device that will deliver the precise energy pulse needed to kill the star. Your job will be the most dangerous of all. You will have to fly close to the hypergiant, into its churning corona, and deliver the final, fatal blow. The baiting of the trap begins. Your combined fleet moves out of the nebula. You position yourselves at the edge of Signian space, in the path of the awakening swarm. You activate your ship's power cores to their maximum output. You become the brightest light in a dark sector, a beacon of defiance, a feast laid out for a starving monster. For days, nothing happens. The silence of the void is your only answer. The tension is unbearable. Every crew member is at their post. Every Cathar warrior sharpens their claws. Every Salian runs 1,000 simulations. You wait. And you wonder if your bluff has been called? If the swarm is smarter than you think? If your grand, insane plan was for nothing? Then they come. It starts as a flicker on the long-range sensors, a wave of anomalous energy. It grows and grows until it fills the screens. It is not a fleet. It is a tide, a tsunami of black metal and cold purpose. The entire swarm, millions of ships, moving as one, converging on your position. Their hunger is a palpable force, a psychic scream that echoes in the minds of every living being in your fleet. They have taken the bait, all of it. The Admiral's voice is grim in your mind. I have never seen so many. They have grown since my time. Their numbers are infinite. He is not wrong. The sight is enough to break the will of the strongest warrior. But your plan does not require you to fight them, only to run. Begin the retreat, you command. Slowly at first. Let them think they are winning. Pull them deeper into the nebula. Your fleet turns. It begins a fighting retreat. You fire your weapons. You make a show of resistance. You sacrifice ships to sell the illusion. Cathar fighters perform heroic, suicidal rearguard actions. You give the swarm a taste of victory, to whet its appetite. The swarm follows without hesitation. It is a predator that cannot resist a wounded prey. It pours into the Serpent's nebula, a river of death flowing into the beautiful, swirling clouds of gas and dust. The chase goes on for hours, deeper and deeper into the stellar nursery. The hypergiant star looms larger and larger, a great, angry red eye in the sky. Your fleet is being battered. Your losses are mounting. The Cathar are losing ships at an alarming rate. Even the mighty Signian vessels are showing signs of strain. The swarm is relentless. It nips at your heels. It tears at your flanks. You have to keep the retreat convincing. You have to keep them hooked. Just a little further. Finally, you reach the designated point. The kill zone. You are deep within the nebula. The hypergiant star fills your view screen. Its surface churns with violent energy. The Selaeans send the final calculations. Commander, the fleet must clear the blast radius. You have 17 minutes to deliver the payload and escape. 17 minutes, a lifetime, and no time at all. All ships, you broadcast to the fleet. Full power, scatter and flee, get clear of the star. Go. The fleet breaks formation. The Cygnian, Cathar, and Selaean ships accelerate away at their maximum speed, fleeing the trap they have just so carefully set. They leave you behind, alone in your small diplomatic vessel, facing the oncoming swarm and a dying star. You pilot the Diplomat star chart toward the hypergiant. The heat is immense. Alarms scream all around you. The ship's hull groans under the strain. The swarm is right behind you. They see you as the last tasty morsel. The command ship. They converge on your position for the final kill. You are the focal point of the entire war, the bait and the trigger. You fly into the star's corona, a storm of fire and radiation. Your shields are failing. Your ship is melting around you. You have one shot. You arm the Selaean torpedo. You target the unstable core. Your targeting computer locks on. You have seconds before your ship is destroyed. Admiral, you think. It has been an honor. The honor was mine, Commander. The ancient voice replies. Give them hell. You fire the torpedo. It streaks away from your ship, a silver needle plunging into the heart of the sun. You throw your ship into a desperate last-second turn, trying to outrun the apocalypse you have just unleashed. The swarm is upon you. Their weapons fire tears through your failing shields. Your console explodes. The world goes white. There is a flash, a light so bright it erases the stars. The hypergiant detonates, a silent, expanding sphere of pure energy. The final firestorm. It washes over the entire nebula. It vaporizes the swarm ships closest to the star. Their black hulls vanish in the stellar fire. The wave of destruction expands outwards, a cleansing flame. The entire swarm, caught in the trap. It has no time to adapt, no time to learn, no time to escape. It is simply erased. The hunger that plagued the galaxy for 50,000 years is extinguished in a single moment of cosmic fury. The Serpent's Nebula becomes a funeral pyre for a star and for a terror that was born in the dark between the galaxies. You do not know if you are alive or dead. Your ship is a wreck, tumbling through space. Its systems are fried. You are floating in the dark. But you can see the light of the supernova through your cracked viewport. It is the most beautiful and terrible thing you have ever seen. You have done it. The madness worked. The galaxy is saved. Rescue comes. A Cathar cruiser, scarred and battered, finds your drifting ship. They pull you from the wreckage. You are the last one out of the kill zone, a hero, a legend. But you do not feel like one. You feel the weight of the lives that were lost, the cost of this victory. The echo of the Admiral's voice is gone from your mind. You are alone again. In the aftermath, a new galactic order begins to form. The threat of the Void Eaters has shattered the old complacency. Earth's High Council is humbled and terrified by how close they came to extinction. They see the truth now. They see the strength of the alliance you forged. Humanity, for the first time, looks outward not with arrogance, but with respect. The Cathar see you as a warrior prophet, a human who taught them that some battles are won with cunning, not just claws. The Salians see you as a successful variable in a chaotic equation. The highest compliment they can give. You have brought the disparate races of the galaxy together. You have united them against a common foe. And now, in the quiet after the storm, they look to you, to humanity, for what comes next. The burden of hope is a heavy one to carry. The galaxy is safe, but it is scarred. It is changed. The old world is gone. A new one must be built. Humanity is no longer a junior partner on the galactic stage. It is a leader, a guardian of the fragile peace you have won. The Diplomat's star chart is repaired. It is given a new name, the Hope's Anchor. Your mission is not over. It is just beginning. You have a galaxy to rebuild and a future to protect.